Hello, everyone. My name is Ana Martha Ayala, and I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. On this channel, I try to teach all of you the degree theory by Nikola Stojanovic. I had a viewer who told me I was pronouncing his last name incorrectly, so I'm trying to do my best to try to speak it in the best Serbian that I can possibly manage. So I hope that I did manage to pronounce his last name correctly. So in this video, what I wanted to do was teach you on the house system that Nikola used for his degree theory, which is the Placidus house system. So for those of you that use astro.com, I'm going to share the screen here and we're going to go. All right, so here we go. This is, I just picked up this chart today, you know, and I'm going to show you the chart selection over here. You can see house systems. Because over, you enter all of the information under edit, and then the screen comes up, right? And then you go Placidus, right? Or you can see there's the Coke, Campanas, Regiomontanas, Equal house system, whole sign house system, and I mean you can have your choice of whatever you want to watch or use, I should say. All right, so um that's how you get the Placidus house system. And this is how you apply the degree theory to it. So what I wanted to do was I'm going to share this other screen, which gives you the degrees. Now, this program is SolarFire. This is a professional astrology program. It gives you, the degrees to each house cusp. All right. So what I wanted to just emphasize is I think some people might be confused, and this is only applicable to Placidus, because if you were using the whole sign system, you wouldn't have a potential of two planets ruling any house, because whole sign is just one sign per house. But then you could not apply the degree theory to the whole sign system or the equal house system. It's specifically made for the Placidus house system. So when we're talking about, and I just picked, today's date and this random time, right? To bring up this natal chart. Now, if this person was born on this date and this time in New York, they would be Capricorn rising at 25 degrees. The ruler of Capricorn is Saturn. Now, last week, let me do this. Last week, I made a video on these things, the rulership and the exaltations, right? And I forgot to mention that I do each video in English and Spanish because I get a lot of people saying, oh, can you do this in English? Or can you do this in Spanish? And I'm like, I do them in both. And I have two playlists, which I forgot to mention in the Spanish video now. But anyway, last week I created a video which gives you these rulerships, right? The rulership, the exaltation, the detriment, and the fall. Now, where does this come from? I'm also going to tell you. It comes from the essential dignities table, which is, let me see. I thought I had it here. Yeah, here we go. The essential dignities table by Ptolemy. That's the one that when I was learning Hellenistic astrology, this is the one my teacher used. Now, I'm not going to get into the explanation of this table because it's quite complex and this video would be about an hour long, right? But you could see that the sign is here, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, and so forth, all the way to Pisces. In Hellenistic, it depends whether you're born in the day or whether you're born at night. It gives you the exaltation, the triplicity, right? The terms and the faces, and then the detriment and the fall. So, like I said, I'm not going to get into those specific items because the explanation would be too long and it has nothing to do or very little to do with the degree theory. We don't use all this stuff, although it's information that, it would be okay to learn, right? It explains a little bit more, but with the method that Nicola developed, this is not, you could do without it. Let's just put it that way. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that this is where you get the information. And now I'm going to go back. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go back to the one from Solar Fire to explain how you get the ruler of the house. Because it ranks this way. Planets are the ones that rule the signs. The signs are the ones that tell you what the flavor of the house is going to be, and the house is the one that tells you the area of life that you are going to be facing, right? So, the ascendant or the rising sign, this person is ruled by Saturn, which is one of the most difficult risings. And even if you're a sun sign Capricorn, your life is not easy. However, the chart ruler for this natal chart, if this person was born at this time on this date, Saturn, and it's in the first house. So here you see the sign Aquarius, which is an intercepted sign, and I'm not going to get into details about that because again, it would make it really, really complicated. But the way that you would read this is that the first house or the first house cusp starts at 25 degrees Capricorn. So the ruler of this house is Saturn. Okay, because the ruler of Capricorn is Saturn. The ruler of the whole chart is Saturn. The second house, which is this little line over here, starts at 11 degrees Pisces. Pisces, the ruler of Pisces is Neptune. So Neptune rules the second house. So for the degree theory, we use the modern rulers. The traditional ruler of Pisces is Jupiter, for those of you who have learned the traditional astrology. For the third house, right here, the third house cusp starts in Aries at 21 degrees. 21 degrees is the degree of Sag. The ruler of Aries is Mars. So therefore, the ruler of the third house is Mars. Where is Mars? Mars is in the ninth house. Interesting. So one of the ways that I would read is 21 degrees is long distance travel. So is the ninth house. Mars is all about accidents, discussion, fights, etc. So maybe on a short trip in a foreign country, because it's in the ninth house, and this is at 21 degrees, be careful you do not have an accident, a car accident. Why? Because usually, or a bicycle, the third house is short trips. And then in addition to that, Mars is opposing Uranus, something that can happen quickly, suddenly. If I were to read, okay, let me give you an example. The first house, people that have Pluto as conjunct with the ascendant, you can read it two ways. This gives either really thin people or really heavy people. Now, because Saturn is here also in the first house, and Saturn usually gives thin people, people that look, when they're young, they look older, they mature quicker than their counterparts, but as they grow old, they age well. They look younger than their years. So the second house, which is ruled by Pisces, um, this is the house that we make money from the job that we do. So maybe this person works in the art field or can be maybe work as a pharmacist or a doctor or a nurse. Anybody that works or works in the hospital, you know. Um, the second house is also things that we like to eat or that we value. So maybe this person likes seafood, or has an art collection as part of their assets. Okay. So the house determines the area of life. Third house, communication, short trips, siblings, having Jupiter here. Maybe this person has a lot of brothers and sisters. The fourth house is your family, your home, your parents. A fifth house, your children, the house of true love, creativity, going on the holidays, vacation. Um, and I'm just giving you guys like very brief definitions of the houses because if not, this video would be quite long. But the fourth house cusp starts in Taurus, okay, at 19 degrees. So how would you read this? Number one, the ruler of the fourth house is Venus. Why? Because Venus rules Taurus. So how would I interpret this? Well, number one, you like a pretty house, very nicely decorated, beautiful for that matter. Um, it's in Taurus, so most likely it is a house and not an apartment, but it's a house with two stories because Uranus is something that is high. Or maybe it has, those high ceilings, or maybe it has some kind of loft. Um, So, and Taurus is usually a place where you have a lot of trees, agriculture, or maybe a house in the country. That's how I would read this. The fifth house starts in Gemini. The ruler of the fifth house is Mercury. Why? Because Mercury rules Gemini. The ruler of the sixth house is the moon. Why? Because it starts in Cancer. So the Cancer is the moon is the ruler of the sixth house. The moon is also the ruler of the seventh house, and it is in the seventh house. So when the rulers are in, like in the sign that they rule, that's a very strong chart, right? Like, because well, Saturn's in Pisces here, but Neptune is in Pisces. So this is a strong rulership. The seventh house is in Cancer. The moon is here, but it's in Leo. So it's not in rulership. Um, However, the ruler of the seventh house is the moon because it starts in Cancer. The ruler of the eighth house is Mercury because Mercury rules Virgo. The ruler of the ninth house, this little line right here at 21 degrees, is Venus. Why? Because Venus is the ruler of Libra. The ruler of the 10th house, this line right here, is Mars. Why? Because Mars is the ruler of Scorpio. Now, when you have planets, like for example, this Mars can be read in the 9th house, and it could also be read in the 10th house because it's within 3 degrees, just the same as this Pluto conjunct the ascendant. Now, when you have planets, more than one planet in a house, it gives like additional information, like additional flavor. Um, it gives you a wider view of what you can do, right? Um, the rulership, I mean, the 11th house starts in Sagittarius. So the ruler of the 11th house is Jupiter. Why? Because Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius. The 12th house, this is the cusp of the 12th house, and it starts at 2 degrees in Capricorn. The ruler of the 12th house is Saturn. Why? Because the it's the ruler of Capricorn. Now, for the degree theory, we use the modern rulers, not the traditional rulers. I also look at traditional rulers once in a while to see if I can get additional information. But the ruler of Aquarius under the degree theory would be Uranus. The ruler of Pisces would be Neptune. In traditional astrology, the ruler of Aquarius is Saturn, and the ruler of Pisces is Jupiter. But again, um, we use the modern rulers with the degree theory. So I hope that this has been helpful. Um, Again, the planets are the ones that rule the signs. The signs describe the area of your, the energy of that house, right? That they're in. The house describes the part of your life that's affected. So the 5th house would be, like I said, your children, your creativity, romance, vacations. The 6th house is the house of health, daily routines, work. 7th house, you have your long-term relationships, marriage, business partnerships. You have legal stuff happening here, like a legal case. You also have open enemies are here as well. Oh, and on the 5th house, these are the boyfriends, girlfriends. The 7th house is a marriage partner or long-term committed relationships. Relationships that last a long time. Whether you have the paper or not is immaterial. You don't have to have, you could have a child with that person and you're married for astrology purposes. Um, 8th house rules death, sex, taxes, inheritances, commissions, big payouts of money, stock market as well. A 9th house, long distance travel, universities, religion, your beliefs. 10th house is career. This is what you do for your career. Also, your status as the public sees you, right? Um, the 10th house is activated a lot of times when people get married or have a baby because it's a change of status. You went from single to being married or from married to being a partner. I mean, not a partner, a parent, because you had a child. The 11th house rules friendships, associations, clubs, and it also rules retirement. Now, the 12th house rules hidden enemies. It rules things that you do in isolation. It rules hospitals. Psychic stuff happens here as well. But it's meditation, things. It also rules the bedroom. So things that you do in secret. Um, so those are the areas of life, and I didn't give a complete list because I said I don't want to make these videos too long. But I hope that this has been helpful in clarifying how to determine which planet rules each house, right? Because it depends on the sign that it starts in. Um, and when you have a, because with Placidus, you're going to have two, right? You're going to have like that Capricorn, and then you're going to have the Aquarius and Pisces. So you go by the first sign, you will consider maybe a little bit the other sign. You can see if like the first sign is not telling you enough information, and you can also use the second sign. But I usually stick with the first sign, the one on the house cusp. So yeah, this concludes the video. I hope that you guys have found it helpful. If so, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you think that this information can help someone else. Please forward the link of this video to that person so they can also watch the video. If you would like a chart reading with me, please send an email to amaastrology@aol.com. And I will reply, and hopefully, we can arrange a meeting to discuss your personal chart. Thank you so much for watching. And if you have any questions, just put them down in the comments and I will get to it and answer it as best as possible for your understanding. Thank you so much for your time, and I will see you next time. Bye.